Imagine a courtroom filled with tension and anticipation, where justice is supposed to prevail. But what if I told you that in one shocking incident, a convicted rapist and murderer escaped prison by committing an unthinkable act? The convict killed everyone in the court just to avoid prison. This is surprising yet terrifying. So let's dive into this video to know the spine-chilling truth. Here we begin. Brian Nicholson, a convicted rapist and murderer, shocked the world with his unimaginable actions in a court of law. The convict Brian G. Nicholson was born on December 10, 1971. Not much is known about his early life, except that he grew up in a middle-class family. He attended Cardinal Gibbons School in Baltimore, Maryland, graduating in 1989. Nichols then went to Kutztown University of Pennsylvania, where he played football. However, he had a troubled past with multiple arrests during his time there. He later attended Newberry College, but was expelled from the football team for theft. After leaving college, Brian Nicholson moved to Georgia in 1995 and worked as an engineer for Hewlett-Packard. He seems to be doing well, earning a good income and attending church regularly. However, in 2004, his life took a turn for the worse. His relationship with his girlfriend ended, and he discovered she was dating a minister from their church. The crimes and trials. On August 19, 2004, Nicholson's ex-girlfriend testified that he broke into her apartment, bound with her duct tape, and raped her at gunpoint. He was arrested and held without bail. During his first trial in February 2005, tensions rose as Nicholson made threatening remarks in the courthouse. After a hung jury, warnings from friends and family about a potential escape were ignored. The retrial saw him mocking prosecutors and displaying violent behavior. On March 11, 2005, the day that would forever be etched in history, Brian Nicholson launched a violent attack in the Fulton County Superior Courthouse. While escorted by Deputy Cynthia Hall, he overpowered her, took her gun, and locked her in a cell. Armed and dangerous, he made his way to the private chambers of Judge Roland W. Barnes. Nicholson held several people inside the chambers at gunpoint, including case managers, an attorney, and the court bailiff. Despite efforts to disarm him, he maintained control. Sergeant Grantley White, the bailiff, attempted to push an emergency button to alert court security. In response, Nicholson disarmed him and forced him to handcuff the others in the room. The situation became increasingly tense. With Sergeant White in handcuffs, Nicholson left the chambers, leaving the staff vulnerable and at his mercy. Deputy Cynthia Hall, critically injured during the initial attack, managed to survive. The chaos sparked a massive manhunt as law enforcement agencies mobilized to apprehend Brian Nicholson. After his violent attack in the courthouse chambers, Brian Nicholson entered courtroom 8F through a door behind the judge's bench. Judge Roland Barnes was presiding over a civil trial when Nicholson shot him in the back of the head without the judge even realizing he was there. He scanned the prosecution table but shot court reporter Julie Brando instead of the assistant district attorneys he sought. The pursuit begins. Fortunately, Sergeant Grantley White, who had been forced into a bathroom, managed to access his radio and alert responding officers about the shots fired. He provided a description of Nicholson, initiating a massive manhunt. Nicholson fled the courthouse, sounding an alarm and firing shots in the air, causing chaos on the crowded street. In his desperate attempt to escape, Nicholson carjacked several vehicles. His first victim was Deputy Solicitor General Dwayne Cooper, whom he pointed his gun at and demanded his car. Nicholson then drove away, speeding through the streets. Larry McCrary, a witness to the chaos, followed him and flagged down Atlanta police officers for assistance. Nicholson continued his spree, carjacking a tow truck and then a Mercury Sable owned by Almeida Kilgo. Nicholson's escape took him to an underground parking garage where he abandoned stolen vehicles. Police suspected he may have taken someone hostage to avoid being reported. With the city of Atlanta on high alert, the search intensified. Nicholson's image appeared on America's Most Wanted, and law enforcement agencies worked tirelessly to track him down. Citywide manhunt and lockdown. The hunt for Nicholson led to a citywide lockdown, with hundreds of officers deployed to the streets and in the air. Roadblocks were set up at major intersections, and state troopers and FBI agents joined the search. Even off-duty police officers lent a hand. The city was on edge, and public schools were secured to ensure safety. Evidence suggested that Nicholson had taken a MARTA train north from the crime scene. Witnesses confirmed seeing him on the train, and surveillance footage captured his movements. Police received tips and information from the public as the manhunt intensified. On March 11, 2005, Nicholson attacked and killed 2 individuals before kidnapping Ashley Smith, a resident of Bridgewater Apartments in Duluth, Georgia. Holding her hostage for several hours, he pointed a gun at her head. During their time together, Smith shared her personal story and read from the Bible in the book The Purpose-Driven Life. This connection seemed to touch Nicholson. After holding Ashley Smith hostage, Brian Nicholson eventually released her and instructed her to follow him in her car. She complied out of fear for the safety of others. However, once they arrived at the apartment, she convinced him to let her leave and see her daughter. Smith then decided to call 911, leading to Nicholson's peaceful surrender to the police. During the hostage situation, Smith shared her faith and personal experiences with Nicholson, choosing not to use drugs with him. She showed him drug abuse's physical and emotional consequences, hoping to convince him to turn himself in. Despite being hailed as a hero, Smith credited God for helping her through the ordeal. She believed the true heroes were the judicial and law enforcement officials who risked their lives to end the situation. Ashley Smith's bravery and quick thinking did not go unnoticed. She received $70,000 in reward money from various sources, including the U.S. Marshal's Office, the FBI, the Georgia Governor's Office, the Georgia Sheriff's Association, and Georgia Fraternal Order of Police and the City of Atlanta. This recognition was a token of appreciation for courageous actions. Confession and legal proceedings. After his capture, Brian Nicholson confessed to his crimes in a 3.5-hour videotaped statement to the police. He detailed his motives and admitted to the violent acts he committed. His confession helped in his conviction during the trial. However, the trial faced controversies, including funding issues and the defense's claim of his mental incompetence. The courthouse shooting sparked debates about security measures in public buildings, specifically courtrooms. Fulton County judges initiated a security review and implemented recommendations to improve safety, such as installing cameras and using 2 deputies to escort high-risk inmates. The incident highlighted the importance of proper security practices in preventing similar tragedies. While he avoided multiple death sentences due to the lack of a unanimous decision, his sentence ensured he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. Nichols blamed his actions on drugs and alcohol, but expressed remorse. The victims' families felt relief that justice had been served, but acknowledged the lasting pain and loss they had endured. The trial may have concluded, but the memories of the victims will forever remain in their hearts. So what do you think of this terrifying act by a convict just to avoid prison? Comment below your views and subscribe for more.